Düsseldorf is a city of many cultures and many nationalities, but the Jewish element holds a special place in the life of the city. Tune in to learn more about the life of the local Jewish community and what influence they have on cultural and social spheres.
600,000 people live in this old city in Western Germany. Several tens of thousands of them are Jewish. The local Jewish community is the third largest in Germany and has more than 7,000 members.
Without a doubt, the Düsseldorf congregation is one of the exemplary congregations in Germany. If you look at history, you'll see that as well as in Düsseldorf, all Jewish congregations have always played a significant role in Germany. We've seen significant growth within the last 20 years. The Jewish life here is very diverse. We are acknowledged by the majority of the city dwellers, and those against are the minority.
It shows that after Shoah and 70 years after the Shoah, the community is a member, is a part of the city.
The congregation is an inherent part of not only the city, but of the region as well. Several times a year, different cultural events take place in Düsseldorf under the patronage of the congregation. Many of the people who come in touch with the Jewish world get to learn things about Jews for the very first time. Some events reached not only the national level, but the international level as well.
We've organized the Jewish Cinema Festival for 10 consecutive years. This event is very well received by the Düsseldorf locals. Also, every 4 years, like this year for example, we organize the Days of Jewish Culture. We organize up to 200 different events in several cities of the North Rhine-Westphalia state. But the busiest location in terms of the events is of course its capital, Düsseldorf. Moreover, the congregation organizes small-scale events such as concerts, lectures, etc. that are attended by Düsseldorf locals.
The purpose of these events is manifold. First of all, it's to give the people who've never been exposed to the Jewish world and culture a chance to learn and see everything with their own eyes.
We had here in the heads of the majority of the Germans, but not only the Germans, that a Jew, what is a Jew? In first place for us had been the I should say, Jewish life is a normal thing.
It's no secret that whatever prejudice people have are typically based on the lack of information. People truly come with joy because we are not faking it, showing how good everything is. We are the way we are.
The Days of Jewish Culture is probably the largest event for the congregation. Currently, it takes place once every 4 years. In 15 cities of Germany, but it all started in Düsseldorf. Until today, the opening of the festival happened in this exact location. 17 years ago, it came to the attention of Herbert Rubinstein and Paul Spiegel that people knew almost nothing about Jews.
We had to answer the question, what is Jewish culture? And then we saw that Jewish culture, of course, is already a part of everything was going on, very normal, but the people didn't know it, that came from the Judaism. And then we get help from Israel, we get help from Holland, from Belgium, and then we had a very, very good thing, 6 weeks, Jewish culture events in 15 cities. And after we have not still been finished, people ask us, and when will be the next?
The German Jews haven't always had this opportunity to demonstrate their culture this openly. Take, for example, this century-old annual carnival. In the 1920s and 30s, Jews weren't allowed to attend it, but there's more. It was very often used for outright aggressive acts of anti-Semitism. At the carnival platforms, in a very brazen manner, displayed pictures of hanged Jews and other anti-Semitic images.
Nowadays, Düsseldorf Jewish congregation is a very important part of modern society. Last year, we made a spontaneous decision to take part in the carnival. We even had our own carnival platform. We brought the Jewish congregation into the public eye. We were very often ignored before, but now we are much better received and participation in the carnival is a big thing. Even the New York Times covered it.
The people in the congregation say that since Düsseldorf is an international city, there have never been any acts of anti-Semitism at the events of the congregation, however.
But of course we have a strong security here, you know that, because of people who don't like Israel, who don't like Jewish communities from some reasons on.
At an official level, there is no anti-Semitism in Germany. I mean, when we had to deal with the authorities when getting a permit, for example, we've had no difficulties whatsoever. I haven't had any difficulties in 30 years. Anti-Semitism and hostility towards Jews usually comes from the right radicals, radicalized Muslims and other groupings.
If we talk about everyday anti-Semitism in Germany, it's still there. Despite tolerance and, what's worse, the experience of the past, sometimes it affects the most vulnerable group, children.
The Jewish children who come here for Jewish religious studies shared with their teacher that at schools and in the senior schools there are plenty cases of anti-Semitism. It comes from their classmates. It may be some little things, but nevertheless, it was very hurtful for the children.
Not only for the children, hundreds of local Jews experience hatred, enmity and oppression on a regular basis. 2 years ago, the Sabra Counseling Centre opened its doors to provide help for the anti-Semitism victims. This centre provides not only the legal counselling but also professional and psychological help.
Those are very common cases. They are things one cannot be held legally responsible for. Still, it can be some comments, some pictures, some posts on Facebook or other social media. We provide counseling not only in cases of anti-Semitism, but also when it comes to different kinds of discrimination and anti-Semitism. Not only Jews come to us, even Muslims come to us, who suffer from discrimination in various situations.
To take on someone else's pain as your own is a golden rule in the congregation. One person's grief is everyone's grief.
The issue of Jews, Judaism and anti-Semitism, especially in Germany, I can't say it's taboo. However, the Holocaust is the massacre of Jews at the time of National Socialism. The topic of Judaism, what is it? Who are Jews? It's nowhere to be found. It's barely present, and we'd like to change that.
In this manner, the congregation regularly invites all who are willing to join the Erev Shabbat celebration.
The question is this: will people receive it or not? Anti-Semitism and things like that have to do with what's inside a person. In order to love another person, I don't have to know them. I can just love them.
All of that helps to discredit myths and stereotypes that have been formed around the Jewish world. That, by the way, exists not only in society, but in the church world as well.
There is still a need for various religions to cooperate. In other words, there are different confessions, but in fact we are all brothers and sisters. The only difference is the road we choose. But our goal is the same. Everybody believes in God. That's why we try to be open for everyone.
But there can be no great future without remembering the past, especially when 6 million innocent people were killed. Among the members of the congregation, there are a lot of those who personally experienced the horrors of the Holocaust, and the number of the eyewitnesses decreases by the year. Several years ago, the We Learn to Remember project was born in the congregation.
Our idea was to connect the stories of the eyewitnesses, of the survivors. And of course, that is a big challenge in the community. We work a lot with people who came in the last 25, 30 years from former Soviet Union. And of course, a lot of people from Ukraine are living here in the community. And to take care about them, to take care about their future, their past, that is one of the biggest ideas of the community.
This project has quickly become international. Fully fledged exhibitions with information stands and films have been presented in several cities already, and far outside of Germany as well. But the strongest partnership the congregation has in this regard is probably with the Ukrainian city of Chernovtsi.
The community of Chernovtsi, they are strongly connected by history, and a lot of people who founded this community here, they came from Bukovina after the Shoah. Our role, especially in this combination of the Remembrance Project, Včimося, pam'ятати, what we are doing in Ukraine, actually it's also a mirror to show to Ukraine what Jewish life can be in Germany.
The project has already been used in educational purposes. It's a simple and effective method for approaching difficult or sensitive topics with the younger generation. By the way, the congregation's educational work goes far beyond just one project.
We partner with the Ministry of Education in the development of new teaching materials for senior students. Anti-Semitism and racism are the topics.
This is the life of the Düsseldorf Jewish congregation. There are many more initiatives and projects that are outside the camera's view. We are deeply impressed by our visit to this big Jewish family, meeting all these sincere, passionate people who care about the future of their country and who don't limit themselves by the walls of their congregation. As they say here, even despite a pretty active life already, it's only the beginning. They're going from good to great, and we'll definitely be showing you everything.